And you know who I feel worst for? Is all those people with huge CD collections. Because you realize overnight they went from music aficionado to creepy hoarder. You want to see my CDs?
I don't know how you came by this record, but you are now embarked upon a journey that must certainly lead you to change your life forever. If you were never a special person, you are a special person now.
What starts with the letter C? C starts with C. Let's think of other things that starts with C. Who cares about other things? C is for CD. That's good enough for me. C is for CD. That's good enough for me. C is for CD. That's good enough for me. Oh, CD starts with C. Oh, wabunga! C. Delightful. Me satiated. Whatever that mean.
What is happening? How you doing? How you living? How you rolling? How's your music bumping and thumping and grooving and moving? Welcome to What's on My Shelf. We're talking about the letter C. C has a whole lot of good and plenty. So let's get on into this shelf right here. And we're going to start the letter C with a double album by Cactus. We have the self-titled and One Way or Another. Cactus. Good stuff. Good stuff. And we got a little cake to follow Cactus, prolonging the magic. Very good stuff. And we're just kind of dabbling in C's so far, because then we got Cab Calloway. Well, I'll read. This is an amazing collection, and if I ever find more Cab Calloway collections, I will definitely pick them up, because this is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Are you hip to the jive? Yes, yes, I'm hip to the jive. Next up we have Camper Van Beethoven. David Lowery, who has another band coming up in C, but he's a wonderful songwriter. I've owned Camper Van Beethoven albums in the past and passed them on thinking I didn't want to have access to them anymore, but I changed my mind and I started to repopulate. Following Camper Van Beethoven, we have Cannonball Adderley, something else. Oh yeah, Cannonball, file under C. Super cool. And following Cannonball Adderley, we finally get into a little stretch from Captain Beefheart and his Magic Band. We have Safe as Milk, followed by Let Me Lick the Decals Off You, Baby. Very cool. Followed by the Mirror Man Sessions.
And then finally,
A collection called Introducing Captain Beefheart. Hothead. So good. So good. Captain Beefheart. Not for everybody, but it's definitely for me. I dig it. Just listening to Safe as Milk just the other day, and it was awesome. Obviously, I need more in my collection. I need Trout Mask Replica and whatever else I can get my hands on. But I get it as it comes. I gotta encounter it in the wild. Captain Beefheart, great stuff. Following Captain Beefheart, we have another captain. Captain Beyond. Oh yes, this is a classic. Do yourself a favor and find Captain Beyond, the self-titled. It is phenomenal rock and roll. And then we have Sufficiently Breathless, which is a follow-up to it. And this is good. It is not as good as the self-titled, but it's good enough to stay in the collection and represent the captains. And we have finally one more captain, Captain Sensible, a solo record from Captain Sensible of The Damned. I mean, what can you say? This is different. It's not as different as I hoped it would be, but it's different, and it's just a random kind of rarity. I'll probably never run across it again, and I like The Damned, and I like this. It's good. Captain Sensible. What's the name of this album? Revolution Now. Revolution Now. All right. Following Captain Sensible, we get into a double album from Clarence Carter. Oh, yes. Patches and the dynamic Clarence Carter. This man was blind. Blind! He played the guitar like you wouldn't believe. And you've heard him if you are not familiar with him. Clarence Carter is phenomenal stuff. Following Clarence Carter, we get into some CeeLo. The Perfect Imperfections of CeeLo Green. Excellent album. And the follow-up to that is CeeLo Green is the Soul Machine. Good stuff. Good stuff. And we continue with good stuff because we have Chaka Khan's debut record, Chaka, her solo album. Because I'm every woman, it's all in me. Oh yeah. And then we have more Chaka. We got I feel for you, I think I love you. Which of course is a Prince classic that Chaka put her own insta-classic twist on it. We got a lot of Prince and P, but we're gonna have to wait because right now we're on letter C. And right up after Chaka Khan, I Feel For You, is Cheap Trick. Self-titled. In color. Oh yeah. Heaven Tonight. Live at Budokan. Right on. Dream Police. And the last Cheap Trick record in my collection is All Shook Up. Oh yeah, Cheap Trick. Great stuff. Very, very good stuff. Following Cheap Trick, we have the Chicago Mass Choir. Calling on You is the name of the album. Good stuff, Chicago Mass Choir. Sometimes gotta go gospel. We have Chuck D, the autobiography of Mr. Chuck, the solo album from The Underdog. Great stuff. Big Chuck D fan, you will see when we get to Public Enemy, but we're still talking about C. Slow down. After Chuck D, we have, I don't know why I still have this, but this is a Mike Clark album. Mike Clark, of course, played drums on Herbie Hancock's Headhunters and Thrust. Some of the greatest drumming ever put onto tape. So I'm like, oh my gosh, a solo Mike Clark album, just drums? Yeah, and it's completely underwhelming. And just for the novelty of this, I'm keeping it. Because it's not even like the beats are all that awesome if you're trying to learn them. But okay, Mike Clark, Master Drummers Volume 3. Hey, it's what's on my shelf. Following Mike Clark, we get into, ooh yes, the harder they come, the harder they fall, for one and all. Jimmy Cliff. Harder They Come soundtrack. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What a phenomenal album. What a wonderful film. There's no shame in watching it with subtitles. That's all I'm going to say. I didn't think I would need to, but I do when I watch it. All about corruption and the record industry and one man's journey through all of it. Next, we have Clutch following Jimmy Cliff, and we have the Transnational Speedway League, followed by self-titled Clutch, followed by the Elephant Riders, followed by my favorite and my gateway into Clutch fandom, Jam Room. Oh yeah. We have a little Pure Rock Fury. We got more Clutch still coming ahead. Live at the Googleplex, Googleplex, something like that. Slow Hold of China. Blast Tyrant. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Daedalus, your child is falling, and the labyrinth is calling. Robot Hive Exodus. Oh yeah. All this burning beard I have come undone. Pitchfork and Lost Needles. Ooh, yeah. From Beale Street to Oblivion. Oh, yeah. I'm a big Clutch fan, can you tell? We got Full Fathom 5. Strange Cousins from the West. Talk about cool packaging. It's kind of fragile. But it's all like a puzzle. It opens up into this big, wonderful land of imagination. And the CD is in there held with a piece of cork. But look at this. Look at this. They didn't have to do this. They didn't have to do that. Man, look at that. Awesome. Strange Cousins from the West. Look at that. How cool is that? Huh? Are we the ocean? Who's to say? Moving on, we have Earth Rocker. Oh, yeah. Ooh, contender for my favorite Clutch. We have Psychic Warfare. Now, just as from one collector to another out there with CDs, with the cardboard cases, once they're on my shelf, I leave them. I learned long ago, you don't want to be moving these too much because they just get ruined. So I always keep little slim cases. And when I want to be listening to this, I pull it out, put it in here, keep the case nice and safe. I remember as a kid, when they first started making CDs in cardboard cases. Believe you me, there was a time when you didn't even think that was something you would even see. And then all of a sudden, albums that are coming out, they're cardboard. So the first 2 albums that I ever bought that were packaged in cardboard, much like Psychic Warfare right here, was the Breeders' Safari and Primus's Pork Soda. And I was so upset that they were cardboard cases. I'm like, I love my jewel cases. I like the jewel cases. I like how I can slam it in there, stack them up. So I cut up the albums and shoved them into jewel cases. And I wish I still had those 2 copies. Those have left the nest and found other homes. But that was something I did poorly. Of course, I didn't cut it perfectly, but I would sit there for hours cutting up the packaging and shoving it into jewel cases. I'm glad I got over that and just realized you just kind of transplant. You just transport it with another case. And then finally with Clutch, we have one more, but I have to get it off camera. The book of bad decisions that I make. So just to support, and it was a great deal I got. This is still the CD version, but it's like a deluxe super book of bad decisions copy. But the CD's right in there. Again, when I want to play this one, instead of carrying this around, I just put it in a slim case. Right on, Clutch. Bam, book of bad decisions. So, I mentioned I'm a Clutch fan, as you can tell by the long list of their catalog that I own. But I actually own 2 records of theirs. And when I say records, I actually mean vinyl. So I have this limited edition Record Store Day release. It's got 2 tunes on it. Bam, 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 bam. Very cool. And then I have, and this was actually a gift from a student's parent. And I love Clutch. I think they're an awesome band. I think there's a lot to learn for musicians, especially teenage musicians, in learning their songs. So we learned a bunch of their songs and performed those songs, and Neil Fallon came and sang in rehearsal with the kids on some of those songs, which was amazing. Neil Fallon, all the love and respect. Clutch. And I have one on my wall, which I'll cut to right here. Boom. Rockin'. All right, Clutch. Excellent band. Following Clutch, of course, is Nat King Cole. Embraceable You, just a little collection of Nat King Cole. And then we get into some Bootsy Collins, oh yeah. We got Stretching Out, of course. Live in Oklahoma, 76. There's a live in Louisville, Kentucky that I know is on CD that I'm always looking for. Shout out if you have it and want to sell it to me. We have, the name is Bootsy. Whew, Player of the Year. Bootzilla! We got some more Bootsy, we ain't slowing down. This boot was made for funkin'. The one giveth and the one taketh away. Oh yeah. Now, there are some later Bootsy records. Okay, I'm not going to lie. There is one I'm going to talk about in a second that it's not good at all. I don't like it at all. But there are a couple that I didn't think I liked at all when I first got them, and I've grown to love them. And one in particular is What's Bootsy Doing? It's phenomenal. Don't let the drum machines or the 80s sound throw you off. It's going to become one of its, strongest traits. What's Bootsy Doing is excellent. In the same vein is Jungle Bass. This is just an extended play, and it's awesome. I think Bootsy was in a really awesome time of redefining his music. As I come to find out as a fan and pick up these records, this is excellent. And here's the Bootsy that's not so excellent, and it follows that time. It's called Blasters of the Universe, and it's a double disc album that's just way too long, way too corny. But it's also, when am I ever going to come across this? And I bought it at Amoeba Records in Berkeley, California, so I am going to hang on to Bootsy, because Bootsy is the star, baby. Oh yeah. And finally, we have this nice little bootleg. Bootsy Keeping the Funk Alive for 1995. Awesome stuff. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And following Bootsy Collins, of course, is Blue Train by John Coltrane. John Coltrane time. Excellent stuff, excellent stuff. And Giant Steps to follow that up. Absolutely. Finally, this is one of the oldest box sets I've owned. I've had this since freshman year of high school. It took me 15 years of efforts on and off to listen to this and enjoy it and get it and understand what I was listening to. I'm not saying I understand it insofar as I can describe it, but I understand it as insofar as it makes sense when I listen to it. And it was once I finally tuned in to the ride cymbal, to that right hand of Elvin Jones, that cut through all the mayhem of Eric Dolphy and John Coltrane in their just abstractions, is the best way I can think to describe it. It's less concrete than improvisations. It's just abstractions. But man, this is amazing stuff. And if you're having trouble listening to it, allow me to offer that tip, and I hope it works for you, but tune into that right hand on the ride cymbal. It all of a sudden just opens up and you go, oh yeah, this is good. Oh yeah, this is good. Then we get into Common, One Day It'll All Make Sense. It's good stuff. Like Water for Chocolate. I see the light that shines special for... Man, what Common did with that sample and what he did with this song, it's one of the best love songs ever, The Light. Whatever shortcomings are on this record are made up for with the strength of that one, because that song is awesome. And then we have Electric Circus. Very cool. I am into Electric Circus by Common. It's a good record. All right, we're on the back 9 of our C section over here. And here is a record I just listened to the other day, and it blew my mind. Confusatron. Chewbaccalypse Now. Holy cow. This record is the first record that was handed to me to review for a website called punknews.org. And here's a little bit of what I had to say about this record, which I reviewed very highly. And it's been interesting coming back to it. This blows my mind. I don't know how anyone could find this. I don't even know how to find more on this band. But this album is just amazing. On the back it says, "It is a world where songs are not what they seem. It is the world of Confusatron, a world of evil audio bots and heroic sporadicons." Truly something. Don't let the cover fool you. The music on this is unbelievable. We get some Sam Cooke to follow. Oh yeah, ain't that good news? Man, ain't that news? Ain't that news? Oh yeah, Sam Cooke. We got some more Sam Cooke, little Night Beat. One of the great voices of all time, Mr. Sam Cooke. Followed by one of the more raw voices of all time, we got Alice Cooper. Welcome to my nightmare. Oh yeah, Alice Cooper's solo is under C for his last name. Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. Excellent, excellent album. We have a live Alice Cooper show, and it's really good. It is kind of weird hearing not the Alice Cooper Band doing old Alice Cooper Band songs, but you know, that's how it goes. But really good stuff. Really puts you there. Front row when his head gets cut off in the guillotine. Oh yeah. When he's got the baby on the end of the sword. Singing "Dead Babies Can't Take Care of Themselves." Dead babies can't get things off the shelf. But that's Alice Cooper Band. And then finally we have Flush the Fashion. This is a really different little Alice Cooper kind of album. And I dig it. It's cool. I don't know if it's like cool, but I like it. I think it's cool. It's different. It sure is different. And following Alice Cooper, we get into an independent bluegrass band called Cornmeal from Chicago. Chicago's tastiest progressive bluegrass. At the time of this release, or just before, I was living in Chicago. This was my first attempt at adulthood out of college, because I did undergraduate in Rock Island, Illinois at Augustana College. You know who you are. Rock and roll. And there was a bar called Griffin's Pub. Griffin's Public House, I believe was the name of it. I'm pretty sure that was the name of it. And every Wednesday night, Cornmeal played. And they played all night. It was free to go in. You could still smoke in the bars at that time, so I would just bring a pack of cigarettes, drink a beer or two, very slowly, and just rock. The band was amazing. Cornmeal, feet first. There was a time when they were the band I had seen play more than anybody. We have Live in Chicago Volume 1 and Live in Chicago Volume 2. But anytime I see their name come up on the East Coast, I go see them. And I've seen them several times play some big shows. They opened up for a band I have under S that we'll get to. Hold up, we're still at C. And different festivals, and I've always supported Cornmeal, and every iteration, because they've been through several now, because the band's been around a long time, every iteration's awesome and still gets the core of what makes them a special band. Cornmeal, excellent. Feet first. Definitely find this one if you would like to hear some awesome modern progressive bluegrass. Who wouldn't love that? And then we had Camper Van Beethoven at the start of C, and later in the C section we have David Lowery's other band, Cracker. We got Kerosene Hat. I've owned this twice. Owned it, gotten rid of it, and then replaced it because I missed it. But we have Kerosene Hat. This is the golden age, the golden age. Excellent. Gentleman's Blues. Good stuff. This one is like a poor man's Tom Petty. But, you know, a poor man's Tom Petty can still crank out a tune. And then we have Cracker Forever. I'm always looking out for the covers albums. Cracker did 2 covers albums, and I'd love to hear them. I think they did a great job of Good Times, Bad Times on Inconium, the Zeppelin tribute record that is no longer in my collection, but of course was when I was a teenager and it came out. I thought their cover was fine. I would just rather listen to Good Times, Bad Times by Zeppelin, but, you know, if I had to hear it not by Zeppelin, the Cracker version is good. So I want to get their cover albums. But then we got, oh, look at this. Who dat? Who dat? Oh, you say bad music for bad people. My shirt says rad music for rad people, but we have the Cramps. Bad music for bad people. I'm not going to lie. The only reason I own this is because my local record store adopted the cover art, which I believe is from a Maryland artist, or at least one that resides in Frederick or near Frederick. I have no way of... That's just off the top of my head. But this is good. It's not great. It's not my thing. Thought it would be my thing. But this artwork is my thing. Oh yeah. Cramps. Bad music for bad people. Record exchange. Rad music for rad people. Moving on from the Cramps, we have one more Cramps. This one I like better than bad music. We have a record called Flame Job. And it's good. It's like a bajillion songs, and they all kind of sound the same, but they all kind of sound like this cover looks. So, you know, it's good. Good stuff. We have an independent band called the Craven Dogs that have made it onto my shelf. I saw them when I was briefly working at a place called Blues Alley in DC, and they were a not jazz group or blues or instrumental group of any kind. They were actually kind of like old hippie songwriter rock band kind of dudes. But man, they were great. They were super committed to their songs, whatever their songs were, and it made me a believer. And this record, it comes across just like that, man. They believe in it, full dedication. Wins you over. If I ever see more Craven Dogs, I will pick them up. I have seen this one, but I already have this one. What does this count? Oh, sounds like a wiener. But I already have a wiener. I already have this one. All right, here we go. We're approaching the green on the final hole. And what did we come across but Disraeli Gears by Cream? Yes. And then we have Cream, Goodbye. I need fresh cream. That is for sure. I used to own the Strange Brew Greatest Hits collection that I'm sure many, many people owned. One of the early records I owned as a teenager. And I loved it. But I thought I was past Cream and got rid of it. But I rediscovered Cream. And I really love these records. And I've tried solo Eric Clapton. But I'm just not into Eric Clapton when he's not with Cream. Cream did some really special stuff. Undeniable. Following Cream, we get into Creatures of the Golden Dawn, Standing at the Gates of Time. I don't know anything about this band. I believe it's a long past band. I mean, they sound not modern. But I picked up one of these records just on a whim. I was like, Creatures of the Golden Dawn. Like, let me give this a chance. That looks kind of cool. And it's totally awesome. The Keys to the Kingdom. Love it. Love it so much that when I saw another record of theirs, I added it to the collection. Oh yeah, Creatures of the Golden Dawn. And following Creatures of the Golden Dawn, we get into Creedence Clearwater Revival, Bayou Country. Yes. Green River. Yes. Willie and the Po' Boys. Yes. My favorite, Cosmos Factory. Yes. CCR. Again, another one as a kid. I had the collection that everybody has. And, you know, yeah, you hear those songs. They're good songs, whatever. Many years go by. I never even thought to listen to Creedence. It's like, I always hear that stuff. But then I picked up Cosmos Factory. I was like, well, let me get an album of theirs, an actual album, and see how it unfolds, what the deep cuts are like. It blows my mind. This is a mind-blowing album. And all their albums are awesome, except for Mardi Gras. Stay away from Mardi Gras. But it's a similar answer to a question about Otis Redding. What Otis Redding record should I get? Get all of them. What CCR record should I get? Get all of them. But stay away from Mardi Gras and forget about the collections, because every record is nothing but just banger after banger, hit after hit. And speaking of hit makers, we have a solo Steve Cropper with a little help from my friends. Steve Cropper, of course, Booker T and the MGs, of course, Otis Redding, like I just mentioned. Mr. Stax himself, he's all over so many incredible records, including his own. This is great. Good stuff, right? Well, it just gets better as the alphabet gets bigger. So, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Crank up the tunes that you are pulling off your shelf, or the tunes you're pulling off your playlist, however it is. Ingest it in big, big earfuls. Right on? Right on. Peace. See you in ILD.
Isn't it delightful?
Oh, what a difference a day makes, baby.
The saloon door stopped ringing, the piano player stopped playing. In the shadows, I could hear our cats playing the phrases. We're gonna make it, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it, we're gonna make it.
If I never ever have to be phony for you,
We're gonna make it, make it.
if I never ever have to be phony for you,
We're gonna make it, make it.
but
I'm just another point of view.
come on.
I'm just a reflection of you.
Talk.
I don't know, I'm kind of getting into it a little bit here.
Either way, it's fine with me.
All right, let me put one more thing down and then see if you got something, all right?
Oh, what a difference a day makes, baby.